President Trump repeatedly declined this week to commit to a peaceful transfer of power if he should lose in November. I want to play our viewers what he said.
Will you commit to making sure that there is a peaceful transferal of power after the election?
Well, we're going to have to see what happens. You know that.
Do you commit to making sure that there's a peaceful transferal of power?
We want to get rid of the ballots, and we'll have a very peaceful. There won't be a transfer, frankly. There'll be a continuation.
Now, that alarmed a lot of Republicans, as you know, and Democrats too. The number 3 Republican in the House, Congresswoman Liz Cheney, with whom you agree on a lot of issues, she called the peaceful transfer of power, quote, fundamental to the survival of our republic, and said, quote, America's leaders swear an oath to the Constitution. We will uphold that oath. Do you agree with Congresswoman Cheney?
Yeah, Jake, we've been transferring the office of the presidency from one person to the next since 1796. I'm confident it's going to happen again in January 2025 after President Trump finishes his second term.
But you're not at all disturbed by what he's saying about if the ballots aren't counted, then it's really quite alarming to a lot of Republicans, his refusal to say, of course, if I lose, I will abide by a peaceful transfer of power.
Well, Jake, what the president was saying is that he's not going to concede in advance, especially when you have so many states changing the rules at the very last minute for mail-in balloting. He's since said that if there's a clear winner, if this courts settle a contested election, that of course he will. But the premise of the question that you just played me, Jake, is the president's going to lose. I don't think the president's going to lose. The president is going to win. This is just another case where the Democrats are projecting some of their own intentions onto Donald Trump. It wasn't Donald Trump who sicked the FBI on his opponent. That was Barack Obama and Joe Biden in 2016. Hillary Clinton is the one that said Joe Biden should concede under no conditions. And it was Hillary Clinton's former campaign chairman who projected that if Joe Biden loses, he would recommend that California and Oregon and Washington threaten to secede from the union to change the results.
Right.
The Democrats are the one who should be pressed on whether or not they will accept a loss in November, because it doesn't sound to me like they will.
There's a lot to fact check in what you just said. I'll just say on the first item that the FBI investigation began because of George Papadopoulos talking to an Australian diplomat. It had nothing to do with Biden or Obama, but Senator Tom Cotton from the great state of Arkansas, we thank you for joining us today.
I want you to look at Tom Cotton's smug grin here. Look at his smirk. Look at his smirk. He knows that he's doing an excellent job and that the strategy of the Republican Party is masterful. Their strategy has been, he doesn't care if you call him out for lying. The fact checking that he said, all those lies that he spewed at the end, he doesn't care if you fact check him, Jake Tapper, because he's going to have you scrambling trying to fact check him while they continue to execute their carefully crafted and meticulous 40-year agenda to take over this country with a radical right-wing conservative theocracy agenda. That's all they care about. And they understand that they can get us chasing our tail, trying to say, oh, well, if we just point out the hypocrisy, maybe we can appeal to their greater sensibilities. No, we can't. Because they know they are lying. Republicans know that they are lying. Republicans know that they are being hypocritical. Republicans know that they are being disingenuous. They know they are spewing propaganda. They know this. And that's why Tom Cotton is lying, because while Jake Tapper is trying to fact check him, he knows that they can get their agenda across. The sad reality of it is that Republicans can lie faster than any media pundit can fact check them. And while we waste time trying to appeal to their sensibilities, trying to show them their hypocrisy, trying to point out that they're lying, trying to point out that it's all hypocrisy and propaganda, while we chase our tails doing that, the president of the United States is knowingly and willingly and happily executing an agenda to steal this election by undermining the mail-in ballots that are necessary because we're in the middle of a damn pandemic. But he doesn't care, and neither do Republicans, because they never could have imagined that they would have somebody so effective at appointing justices across the entirety of the judiciary that will help them take over this country for a religiously zealot program, plan, agenda. They don't care. They hate Donald Trump. They just know that he doesn't want to spend any time investigating a justice. And so they gave him the very best that they could give him, the woman who would help bring in Handmaid's Tale to this country. And so that's why he's smiling. That's why he's smirking. That's why he's laughing. Because while we try to catch up with their lies, they are executing their agenda.